Welcome to Essential Money Talks. And today we have some special guests. And we're going to have them introduce themselves. They're from the USA, where I'd like to be right now. And so if you'd like to start, Chelsey.
Okay, so I'm Chelsey. I'm mom. I run this part of the house. We've got our three girls. I'll introduce Sky. She's down here in the front. We're keeping her kind of distracted, so she's at the bottom. But the rest of them can introduce themselves. So
I'm BJ. I'm dad, and
that's it.
That's it.
That's a lot. That's a big and that it though.
Hi, I'm Riley, and I'm the oldest of three girls. I'm 11 and a half.
Oh, almost a teen. You're a tween. Very good.
Yes.
And how about you?
My name's Courtney, and I'm 6.5. I'm almost 7.
Oh, yes. So I remember those halves. That's really important. And when you get my age, Courtney, you don't tell your age. You kind of lie. And I'm forever 26.
Yeah, see, I've heard a lot of that. Or 21.
Yeah, no, 26. I wouldn't pass for 21, but I'm forever 26. But I really am 56. So I'm a few decades more than that. But that's okay.
Why I didn't say my age. I'll let the girls, but we're not dipping into that.
No. Okay, well, welcome. And so we're so excited for this interview. And so I'm going to have, first of all, I'm going to talk to the girls just in case we want to hear from them first. So, Riley, I want you to tell me, do you like money?
Yes, I do. I try to save up a lot, and then I go to the gas station with Courtney, and I spend some of my money on candy, and then, yeah.
Okay. And is there something that you're saving for? Do you spend your money or do you save some?
So I save a lot of money. At one point, I had $152.
Whoa.
And then I like to save my money and then spend it all in a weekend. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It goes on shopping sprees.
Okay. And so what things are you saving for right now? What's something that you want? Hello, Skyla.
One thing that I really want, I don't know right now.
Your sketchbook.
Okay, that's okay.
Sketchbook.
Okay, excellent. So it's always good to know what you want to save for, because if you don't know what you want to save for, you'll spend it all down at the gas station. That's what when I was a little girl, I used to save up my 20 cents back then, or I mean, if it was big, it was maybe 50 cents, and I would go to 7-Eleven and buy it. Well, back then it was penny candy. There was candy for a penny, candy for 2 pennies, 10 cents, and we got a lot of stuff if I had 50 cents. So, but I quickly learned that if I spent it all at 7-Eleven, then I couldn't spend it. Then I would just go home and eat it, and then it'd be gone.
And then it was gone.
Then if I saved that money and bought it for something like a nice toy, then I could enjoy that for a lot longer. So, but it sounds like you're really learning some good lessons about money there. Okay, and how about you, Courtney? Do you like money?
Yeah.
Yes.
I have $5.
Wow, that is great. And what do you like to spend your money on?
Well,
Oh, you just muted.
I'm saving it for like something that I need, or like something that I like need.
Oh, I like you. So you're wanting to buy for something you need. Sorry, Chelsey.
Yeah, I was saying this one's a little more stingy. Like this one has stuff she wants, so she builds up and then she spends it. And this one's like, no, I'm not doing it. And it's like, come on, go buy something. She's really hard.
Yes. Oh, that's great. Okay, yes. And what we want to do is, hold on, I'm just going to turn my phone off.
I just had the same issue. Someone tried to call and I
Someone tried to call. But it's good. It's so important to pay for the things that you need first. But then it's also nice to have savings for something that you want, because we want to do both. We want to have our needs, but we also like to spend on what we want. And I'm sure, Courtney, that you'll spend your money. When you do, it will be really fun to spend because you've saved that up. So well done, girls. And what do you want to be when you're older? Which then you'll, maybe make some more money. What would you like to be, Riley?
When I'm older, I want to get a PhD in doctor sciences. So.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, she's pretty school smart that way. She's
very good. And that's good. And this is when you need to learn about money. And I'm sure your parents are teaching you about money, because then doctors make a lot of money, but also doctors can spend a lot of money and get into a lot of debt as well. And so to understand how to manage your money will be a great thing for you as you become a doctor. So I look forward to that. And Courtney, what do you want to do when you're older?
I want to be a vet and help, like if they get hurt.
Okay. I didn't really hear that. You wanted to help people?
No, she wants to be a vet and help animals.
Oh, a vet. Oh, okay. Wow. Okay. So a couple medical ones there. Yeah. That I love animals too. And yeah, I do not like going to the vet, and neither do my animals. They get very sad. But oh, that's great. Okay. Well, thank you, girls. And I'm going to now ask your mom. I want her to tell us about your money story previous to 2020.
Okay. It's just a lot of bad. So when I initially moved up here, I kind of started at the bottom. I was working at an auto parts store. I made my way up. I was in decent shape as the amount of money that I spent, but I didn't know how to spend my money. So I had a lot of debt. I had a brand new car. I had credit cards. I had debt that was unneeded because I made enough money. I just didn't know how to use it. So my credit score was actually really low also. But I was just kind of a mess before we started talking to you. I was all over the place. Like I said, I made it. I had nice things, but I was never out of debt or spending it in the right places.
I remember you saying that you checked your bank account every day. It brought you a lot of anxiety.
Yes, because you didn't know. Like I knew that, okay, in March, the bill would come out the second week, but I never knew what days anything came out. Everything was just like, oh, reminder, you have a payment today. So, okay, I'll make a payment. And nothing was ever like in line to just automatic pay. I never really got into that kind of stuff. I just did it as I went. And I always felt like I was broke because I wasn't putting it away at the right time or spending it at the right time. And it was a lot. I was very overwhelmed. That's for sure.
Yeah. And BJ, if you can just poke in, I forgot to say where you're from. Do you want to tell us where your family lives?
Yeah, I've been born and raised in northern Utah. We've been from Harrisville and Roy and Willard essentially my whole life. So moved away for a little while out to Minnesota, and then came back and moved back up to northern Utah.
Okay, and I hear you're not getting much snow this year.
No,
it's making ice fishing difficult.
Yeah, yes, I'm sure that would. Yes, because you love your fishing and your hunting, which is a beautiful place in the world to do that as well. Okay, so again, BJ, what were you like before 2020?
I was a hot mess. I've always worked a blue collar job, and I've always made good money, but the old adage, work hard, play hard. Mm-hmm. And I'd have no issue dropping $300-400 on hunting stuff or or trips, or I'd lose $100 bill in the laundry machine, and payday was on Friday, so it didn't really matter. And if I had to rob Peter to pay Paul, I'd do whatever I had to do to have a good time, and it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of stress knowing that, you know, I've got overdraft fees building up, and I'm gonna have to skimp on something to pay something, and I was a mess.
And so you were happily spending when you were doing it, but it was very impulsive. But you really didn't. Oh, you knew eventually you're gonna have to pay for it, and it was gonna catch up.
Yeah.
Well, and I didn't realize exactly how much I was spending. I never checked my account. As long as I had cash in my hand, I had money.
Yeah.
So
but Chelsey was.
Really,
she was checking it every day.
Yeah. When me and Chelsey got together, she was better financially minded than I was. Like, all of her bills were always paid on time, and she always had a little bit of extra spending cash. And, you know, she was making do, and I really kind of admired that.
But when we got together, it crashed hard because we were making double the income. When we got together, we spent a lot of money on stuff we shouldn't have, like, just because.
Just frivolous.
Yeah, we were tied together, and it was like, we have got tons of money. And I look at it now, and those, I want to say 2 years before, what we could have done versus what we did. Like, I know we came a long way, but
yes,
we had some issues back then. Like, sorry, I pulled her hair. But
okay.
It was a little much then.
Yeah, it was a bit much.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next question is, how did you learn about the spending plan, or what made you be curious and learn more?
Well, me and Chelsey had sat down and talked, and I had just started a new job and was making significantly more than what I was making before. Sorry, the baby sounded like she was choking. So I was making significantly more. She made more than I did when we got together. So it was a significant enough amount of money that I says, you know, we need a financial advisor. And I wanted to get into somebody where they could manage my money for me, and which realistically wouldn't have benefited us at all. And that's what Chelsey was thinking. She says, you know,
I was like, why am I going to pay someone to tell me how to spend my money? And then I want to say it was like 2 weeks later that you had reached out to us and let us know that you were doing what you were doing. And it was like just the timing. It was like the stars lined up and was like, hey, you need to do this. So yeah, he had been bugging me, and I was like, that doesn't make sense to me. Like, let's just write it down and get better. But then it was excuse after excuse to sit down and work it out and set everything up.
It was a lot funner to spend the money on payday than it was to save the money on payday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely.
And that's kind of what we liked about the program, is it was a spending planner. So we were planning on spending that money. It's just, how are we going to do it?
Exactly. Where a budget is like restrictive, it's like, oh, that means you can't spend. Where this is a spending plan. We make our money for the year and we spend it. Why don't we please first now just plan where we want to spend it so that we get what we really want?
Right.
Thank you. And so I just want to clarify here. So they were looking for a financial advisor. So I'm not a qualified like financial advisor or a financial planner. I am a certified spending planner. So I am an expert and certified in day-to-day finances, which unfortunately the finance industry kind of had a big gap. Okay. There's lots of financial advisors out there, lots of people who want to sell you insurance and get you to invest. And then there's the opposite end, which are financial counselors, and you go to them when you're really struggling with your money and close to bankruptcy. But there wasn't anyone in the center that actually helped everyday people like your family organize their day-to-day finances. And so that's what I do. I'm a certified spending planner, but we take you beyond budgeting. Okay. A spending plan goes beyond budgeting and has that missing link that actually makes it work and brings your financial dreams and goals to come true. So Chelsey, I want you to tell me now. So we started working together, you were working, and then what happened?
So Initially, I lost my job and then COVID hit. So it was within a month of each other.
It was within weeks.
Weeks, yeah. We had a couple of issues. I lost a family member, which kind of got into our babysitting situation. So when I lost my job and COVID hit, it just made sense for me to not go back to work. There was too much with the girls. Schools weren't opening. And it was like, I just needed to be there. And yeah, we ended up, it was day and night. I was making a lot of money and then it was nothing. And I want to say we were getting closer to the end with you. I don't think we were quite finished yet, but oh, there went the phone. I told you I would do that at some point. But it was scary. And what the cool thing about it is we knew. So for 1 year, amazing at holding people accountable. Like that's what we needed. We needed somebody to just be there to ask us the questions that we weren't asking ourselves. If that makes sense.
Questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and so when COVID hit, I lost my job, I was so scared. And then it was like, wait, we're with Sherry. We're with the spending planner. Like everything is planned out. And it was so cool to just go into our spending planner and remove my income. And then just kind of watch everything still fall together. We were like, holy cow, we can do this. Like, we're not going to be able to save what we were saving before. But I mean, at this point, we had spent, I don't know if you're going to ask, but we had paid off like $18,000, I think, worth of debt is what. Isn't that close to what we were at?
Yep, it was. So. Yep. And that was in the first few months. I remember after a month, you paid off one credit card and then it was the next. And you were smashing your debt. Because you had a goal.
Yep.
That's what, like, I'd always wanted to hold 20 grand.
Yeah.
And I had never, like, I thought $20,000 was like life-changing money. And when I realized how fast I could save, we could save 20 grand. I mean, we had $20,000 in my gun safe in a matter of a month and a half.
Yeah.
We were able to put it all away.
And then then it was scary having $20,000 in my gun safe. It's like, well, what, that's uninsured money. So let's get it in a home. And so that's when we talked to you on one of our Tuesday meetings, and you were like, yeah, let's
plan for it. Yeah, so exactly.
We went from having 20,000 to having like 2,000, and the rest all went to pay off debt. But then we were almost debt free, like besides the car.
Yeah. It was a relief. Like you didn't have to wake up and go, oh, I've got to pay this, this, and this. And then we were talking about how much more money there is. And I mean, well, the house, I don't know if you want to go into that, but
not yet. We'll hold on that one. But yeah, so yes, they had this money, and what happens is people might get lots of money in the bank and they have a hard time departing from it. But if you have consumer debt, which is credit cards, personal loans, anything with an interest rate, it doesn't make sense to have your money sitting in an account, which is at the moment here in Australia, it's only like 2%. You're even making interest on it. Yet you might be paying up to 25% interest on some of your loans. It's best to pay off that thing. As long as you have at least, say in the States, $1,000 still for emergencies. And in Australia, I say 2,000 because of the living costs here.
Yeah.
But pay off that debt. And then all the money that you use for that debt, which would have been hundreds a month, you just redirect that into building that savings up again. And it will build up really quick, like you said, BJ. Yeah.
We were shocked. It was so fast. We were like, holy cow, we've been missing out on this for how long? Like it was kind of crazy.
And it also was automated. And that's what we do with the spending plan. We teach you your effective bank structure and get everything to automate so that you don't touch your money as much as possible. You have your one spending account, or you might each have your own little personal account, but everything you put money into savings. Oops, sorry, my ear fell out. You just do that automatically and life goes fast.
Yeah.
And you just end up, they just build up so quickly. And it's so exciting to see the debt go and your savings go up.
Yeah.
Yep.
I remember when we bought our bed, we'd always wanted a nicer bed. And we were like, holy cow, we can walk into a mattress store and buy this nice bed. And it's cash. It's not, it's still funny. We live next to an apartment complex, and I'll see like a rent-a-center truck come in, or like one of those rent-to-own things. And I always think about the bed, because we went in and we paid cash and we got this nice bed, and it was so like rewarding for us that we were able to pay off debt, and that was our first big purchase. And then when somebody pulls in at the apartments, I'm like, oh, those guys are in a bad place. You know that this is not going to be good. And it's like, I just remember buying that bed, man. That was so, that was the best. Like
It was. And because normally you would have just gone down to any place, because credit, you can't get savings on a bed. You're going to pay the top dollar. But when you have cash, cash is king, and you can bargain. And you said you went around and priced it, and you got, I think you saved $200 or $300 off the bed just because you had cash.
We get,
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
it was, yeah, because it was like, I can't remember the name, but it's a memory foam,
Yes.
huge. But the guy kept trying to sell us this other one, and we were like, no, what about this one? And he ended up going in the back, and he found a king size from last year's model, and he dropped it like $400, but it was already
dropped.
Yeah.
50%.
Yeah, so we got a deal all the way around.
It
With
was like a $4,000 bed, and then it was marked half price, and then he dropped another $400, so we ended up paying like $1,600.
It was
for a
great.
$4,000 bed.
Yeah. That where they would have never done that if you were putting that on.
Oh, yeah, because they ask you that, like, how are you paying?
Yeah.
And we're like, we're paying today and walking out. And that was what initially made the guy go, oh, hold on, I might have something in the back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
we got
Yeah.
good on that.
Oh, I love that. I love that. And then you worked with me for 6 months. We met every Tuesday night, and I helped you step by step go through. And then once that finished, then a few months passed, and it became so they started, let me clarify, they started in January 2020. She lost her job in, I think, February.
Yeah,
It was all very close. Yeah, we had kind of got the plan set up, then went down to the one income and got the debt paid off, very quickly, got some savings. And then it was about 4 or 5 months. And then I just felt impressed to contact them and see. And I usually would every month kind of make contact with them and see how they're going, because I like to celebrate the wins with them.
Right.
And I was impressed this one day. You need to message them and see how they're going. And to my, it just gives me goosebumps even saying it. When you replied back, because one of your goals when I first started working with you, because I always say, what is your why? What is your number one goal? And you said, we want to own our first home, because you had been renting and for many years, and you thought, hey, that could be paying off our home, not paying for someone else. And so that was your goal. And so in this text, what did you say, Chelsey?
I was like, actually, we're buying a house.
And I get the keys tomorrow or something, or tomorrow we're signing the contract.
Yeah, we were already ready to, we were done. We had picked the house, we had financed, we had done everything when we had talked to you. But I was like, we're actually, we're going to be ready here. And I think it was a couple of days we were done with it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And that was so exciting. Their dream came true in that 1 year that most people their finances were just a total disaster. And you had gone from 2 incomes to 1 in that time, plus COVID.
And we lost the whole income. Exactly.
Yes.
We just bought a truck.
We bought the
That's
truck.
right. That's what you also said. So it was a few months before that text, you then let me know that what had you done?
Yeah, we found a really good deal. We've been looking for a new truck, something 3rd row seat for all the kids, because we have that little Chevy Cruze, and it's just too small for. I'm a big guy, so I don't fit in it to begin with. But then we got 3 kids smashed in there, and you can't take the dogs anywhere. And so we've been looking for trucks, and then the truck market was just ridiculous.
It was bad.
Everything was $2,000-3,000 over, and we didn't want to pay it. And then we just stumbled upon a Chevy Suburban, and it was not only everything we wanted, but more. And we asked them how much they wanted for it, and they said 10 grand. And so we walked in there and paid cash $10,000. Well, it was 11,000 after taxes and licensing. But we walked in there and paid cash, and that ended up turning into a physical asset. I mean, we could sell it for $5 grand more than what we bought it for.
Yeah.
And that was just a couple months before I texted you. So you had done that.
We had already got this suburban.
Yeah.
Signed on the house. And then you don't even want to know what we've been able to do with.
Oh,
yeah. We have 2 boats now.
Yeah. I got my duck boat. That was my
Oh, your
biggest
duck
thing.
boat. Yes,
Yeah,
I remember that's because you both, I said to you, what do you want, Chelsey? And what do you want, BJ? Because you have to have your goals so that you can both engage and unify so that you both get what you want. And then you have your group one. You know, your family goal was get a house, but you wanted that duck boat. And I think, Chelsey, if I remember, you just wanted to not have that financial stress.
Yep, that was my thing. I just wanted to not be worried about what was coming in and what was gonna not make it or make it. I was tired, like you said, looking at my phone every day like that. That is the worst to have to do that.
And so you got your boat. Okay, that's so exciting.
Well, that's what was hard is I could have bought that boat 10 times over, 50 times over.
And I remember you wanted to, and I kept saying, BJ, we have to stop your dad. We have to get your big bad wolf, and we have to do these things first. And so tell us, what is a duck boat? Because some people, I didn't know, and I kind of forgot. What is a duck boat?
So a duck boat is a shallow water boat. Out here, we've got a lot of marshes, so you've got really soft mud underneath. You've got a lot of vegetation, so you can't run a regular outboard. It'll foul up. It'll foul up the prop. It'll foul up the water impeller. And so you have to have something that's air cooled. And they make a specifically designed boat that's got a air cooled motor, so you can get it into the mud. So I can run my boat in 8 inches of water, because you're not hunting deep water where the waterfowl is. You're hunting shallow ponds. So I can take my boat.
So can I just, I'm picturing in my mind in Florida, they have those boats. Is it kind of like that they go on those?
Yeah, kind of. So those are airboats. They've got a car motor with a big propeller that pushes air. So mine is, imagine like a lawnmower type motor on a frame, and then 9 feet out the back of the boat, that's where your prop, that's where the water actually gets turned. So they're long tails. You can look them up on YouTube, but they're really impressive they can travel in no water. As long as your boat can float, it'll push through the mud. They don't get Yeah, they're impressive. Chelsey didn't understand it until I started showing her videos, and she was like, okay, now I can see what you want to do.
Oh, well, that's so good. And so tell me some of the specific features in the spending plan that you liked that really helped you.
My personal favorite is how it tells me the breakdown on, so not auto pay. I got to start that. Auto pay is the best. That was the best thing for me. But how it breaks it down and it tells you like you have this amount of money left over at the end of the month. It depends on how you program it. But like for us, it's weekly or every 2 weeks, we get to know how much we have extra. And then I'm able to adjust. So like in the event that an emergency happens, and let's say that we have to use that for something, we're able to go, oh, you know what? We've got this money assigned to a savings account. We can actually adjust here and put it somewhere else. Like the fact that it's versatile and I'm able to accommodate, well, it's able to accommodate my life. Does that make sense? Like I'm not stuck on one thing. So Oh, Sky's gonna start vacuuming. This might get loud. She took the popper, you know, the pop, 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 pop things. But yeah, so the fact that we're able to adjust our lives and the spending planner follows us versus us being forced to follow it. Like,
Yeah.
if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yes, it does. It definitely does. Okay. And so let me see. What was the benefit of working with the spending planner? Would you have been able to achieve what you achieved without someone supporting you initially? Because I only did it for a short period of time, but what was the benefits of that?
So the accountability, I will say that always, just, and not that you weren't even like go go go. You were just someone to ask questions to if I wasn't sure. The baby,
Yeah.
When this kid's feet hit the ground, I'm telling you, she takes off. I just lost 4 out of the 5 of us and her going into the kitchen.
She's gone in about a second.
God, she's crazy. But, oh, now I don't remember what I was talking about.
Working with the spending planner. And
Oh,
the
yeah.
accountability.
So having someone to be able to ask questions to, like, I'm thinking that I want to do this, but is that the right thing to do, or what would you do? Just having the education that you brought and the knowledge and the accountability, like I said, just being able to have someone say, what did you do this week? That it puts it in your head, like, I've got to do this. This isn't necessarily a joke, you know?
Yeah.
And I mean, that's hands down, the program is amazing, but the spending planner is so important, and the teaching of the process, like, the process is great, but you've got to understand it first. And that's what you did. And you were like so good at it. I don't know how to say it any other way, because you were just good at being able to say, like, we're going to try this. And I don't know, the coaching, like,
that's the other part. That's the part that was easy for me. I'm a blame pusher. I'll tell anybody, well, no, this is really your fault, you know. But to have you be able to come in, I remember telling Chelsey, I do not want to do this tonight. Like, I know I blew a couple $100 on hunting stuff, and I just really shouldn't have. But I mean, it's my money, right?
Mm-hmm.
To have to sit there and answer, well, yeah, we're this much shy because of whatever our goal is, whether it's Big Bad Wolf or whether it's FFFI, or it doesn't matter. That money's gone, and you're going to know, and you're going to be like, well, where'd that go? You know,
Yep.
It was hard for me because I'm really just having to look at myself in the mirror and say, dude, you spent $200 on ammo, and you really shouldn't have. Like, you should have built your Big Bad Wolf up, or you should have built your savings up, because you just bought a bed. Like, you just made a big purchase, and that money should really stay in the account, you know, by your ammo hunting season, not just because you found it.
That's right.
Oh, go ahead.
And ammo was not in a big bad. That wasn't a Big Bad Wolf purchase. That is only for essential, sustaining your life kind of things, where you were actually going out and taking off.
Yes, exactly.
With that. And just something before you go is, you mentioned, you know, you'd say, oh, Sherry, this is what I'm thinking of doing with my money. And so I don't give advice, but what I always do is she would just say, what would you do? I say, I can tell you what I would do, but in no way do I give anybody financial advice.
Well,
and
that's what I mean by the education.
Yeah.
Like, you gave us the tools that let us, you were able to go, well, if you look at what we talked about, A, B, and C, which scenario do you think is going to be the better one for your, like?
And not only that, you explained it in a way that I would have my own money and she would have her own money.
Yes.
And if we took and ran it that way, where, okay, I've got $50 and she's got $50, and at the end of the week, if she doesn't have $50, but I do, and I want Subway, I'm gonna come home and eat it right in front of her.
Yes.
Because that was my $50 that I saved all week, and now this is my reward. I'm gonna have Subway and a nice big soda.
Yes, that's right. And I remember putting in your plan going those fishing trips away. You know, okay, we need to save for it. We need to plan for it. So a spending plan is about taking care of your life costs first. You know, make sure you pay your important things first. But let's put in your fun, because that's what spending is fun. That's why we work for, is to have fun. And so we get your costs as little as possible so that you can have and get what you really want. And you were such an inspiration to me, and still are. And I have to say that on the weekend, I was at the Spending Planners Institute National Conference. And we were asked prior a few weeks to submit someone's story of their success story of the spending plan. And I immediately thought of you and submitted that. At the end of the conference, to the very last minute, they awarded, which I didn't think they would because it was online this year, they awarded the spending plan of the year. And they called my name, and I was like, this came as such a shock.
You're like, what?
Because in previous years, they had done it for the best client, which I thought, well, maybe I'll get that, but I didn't think that it would. But your story, I'm sure, really, really helped me get that. And I remember, where did I go afterwards, Chelsey? And I called you. Where did I go?
You was eating ice cream.
Celebrating. I was celebrating, and I called you, and you were just ready to go to sleep, and I had to celebrate that because and just all your wins. And so it was such a pleasure.
There's another win that we hadn't talked about, and that's when we found the house and we closed on it. I went through a job change.
Oh, and he took another month off.
I needed to work on the house in order, because I mean, we bought a fixer-upper, but for the price we bought it at, I mean, we walked in with $50,000 in equity right off the gate. And to do that in this market was unheard of. Like our friend, he ended up paying $50,000 over asking price just to get the house, and the house was already maxed out. They were asking every penny out of the actual value of it. So, I mean, we walked out with $50,000 in equity, and I needed to work on the house, and without even having to pull out a HELOC or anything, I was able to take a month and a half off with her not working.
And us work on the house.
And us have the money to buy repairs for the house.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That is good. You know, and I really believe that if you are following truth, which is what I taught you money truths. Yep. And then I taught you to be honest. Following truth and being honest brings blessings.
Yep.
And you guys were doing the right thing. So of course, blessings were going to come to you.
It just kept coming. It still does. We're getting to live the life that you want. You know, your kids, you want your kids to have consistency. You want your kids to have their childhood home. You want them to go to the same school and the same friends and be in dance. And we're able to do that under one income I mean, he makes good money. Don't get me wrong. He really does very well for us. But if it wasn't for the spending planner, I don't even know. We'd probably still be not even a quarter of where we're at. Yeah. We'd still be way in debt. And
my truck wouldn't be registered. It'd still be sitting there, bro.
Yes.
So I highly recommend it to anybody. Even if you're good with money already, you can always be better. And that's kind of what we've learned is we've been able to buy all of these things and make this progress. But at the end of the day, we still have room to work on it. We still drink our Diet Cokes. Don't tell Sherry.
And are you still buying the cigs at the local? Yeah. But there was a point there that you cut that out because you saw how much it was costing you. So when you do see your truth.
Yeah, we had to go back in and adjust, but we were still able to keep it under half of what we were before. So we did make a little progress. And then now I would say we're about done. I don't even want to tell you how much they cost. You would die.
Yeah. So. Well, if it's like gasoline in Australia, I went to fill my tank last week, and I have a hybrid. I work at home, so I rarely go out. And so I'll buy it, maybe put in once a month. And I go in to do it. and I looked at the price, and it was $1.94 a liter. Now
Oh,
there's 4
good.
liters in a gallon, so that was like $8. And there was someone else that pulled up, and I turned to him and I said, "Is this right or is this broken?" And he goes, "No, that's right." And I said, "Oh, okay, I take it." I said, "How long has it been that way?" And he goes, "Well, for at least a month." It's like, okay, I will not be driving too much. And so, it's those things, but it's, so I only put in a half a tank. He goes, "No."
You were like, no way.
You would die if you had to fill up that Suburban.
Yeah, that's
I
I
can't
know.
tell you-
I can't imagine. I can't imagine.
I can't tell you the kilometers to liters and all that.
I know. They don't even do that. Yeah, they don't even tell the kilometers to liters here in Australia.
Yeah.
But I know the Suburbans, and it's more like liters per mile.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's our drive to, like, we do our little family events but anywhere that we got to go big, we're in the car because that's Suburban and $4.
It's got a 40-gallon tank and it's $3.60 a gallon. So
It's
we
like
get 10 miles to
$130.
the gallon. So every time we started up and go to the gas station and back, that was $4.
Yeah. The Suburban sits a lot. So is it nice to have when we need it? Yes, but we don't drive it too much right now.
Exactly.
Yep.
Well, Chelsey and BJ and the girls, it sounds like they're being great big sisters and watching.
We have kind of a big house there. They've got the whole upstairs to themselves, so we ship them up there.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much. And if I can just have you finish with just tell me some words, just a word that comes to your mind of the spending plan and what it's brought to your family.
Freedom.
Freedom's a good one. I would say blessings. I feel like it, kind of like you said, it once you get that truth in, it just follows.
Accountability.
Discipline. Like I'm very much, I have to check, once it's all set up and you're on auto pay, it's good to go. And then when you have an adjustment, like we just had one with his insurance come out. So I'm able to just go in there and just make sure everything's okay. But it's freedom. I don't know if that was a perfect word. He said it right off the bat. Like,
yeah, excellent. And I'm so glad. And I mean, like me, I've had my spending plan for 19 years and I have zero money stress. And I was a stay-at-home mom for 27 of those years. My husband didn't make as much as BJ, but he made a moderate income. But it just made being a family and doing their finance, there was no money stress. I call it so much financial peace. And Chelsey, how much time I often come and visit the States. And I'm so excited to my next trip. Hopefully this year, we're trying to find a time this year where I can come and see your beautiful home and just finally give you that big hug of congratulations, because I just love celebrating those wins with you. And this interview will inspire so many people because you guys have touched on so many areas. And do they need to be embarrassed or have shame when they come to contact a spending planner?
They're going to feel that embarrassment and they're going to feel that shame, but it's nothing that they didn't do to themselves. They're going to feel it at the beginning. As soon as they get into the program and realize, hey, like I was embarrassed to tell you, I spent $500 a month in cigarettes.
Yeah.
Like that's embarrassing. I smoke like most people's car or truck payment.
Yeah.
And that's embarrassing to me. But, once you level the playing field, it's easy to lie to yourself and it's easy to make justifications. But, the fact is I like to smoke. So I spend that much money in cigarettes.
Yeah.
And you didn't judge me for that. And you put that into my spending planner. You weren't like, well, now, that not only are you killing yourself, but you're smoking a house payment. You didn't care.
It was accounted for. We put it in there and we used it. And
to you, it was a numbers game. You showed us the different scenarios that our numbers made. It was it was nothing to be shameful for, and it was nothing
That's
to be
right.
embarrassed of. Like I had medications, and you put my medications in my spending planner, and it wasn't, well, what are your medications? It's nothing that I
No.
was, after my initial shock where I was, because I knew my situation and I was embarrassed of my situation. After I got over my own embarrassment, there was no judgment. There was, for anybody that's a sportsman, I mean, you got to be on the spending planner, because that allowed me to do a lot of hunting and fishing, a lot more than I did before.
Yep.
Yeah, and you're happy doing it now because you plan, you save for it. Now you happily spend. You have zero regret, and you enjoy that fishing trip so much more because
I don't have to save vacation, because I know that if I put it in the spending planner, if I didn't have vacation, it would still be paid for.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. It's amazing. I think one thing that's always stuck with me through it too is, like it wasn't our fault. So if you do feel embarrassed and you're insecure about talking to someone about your finances, if everybody could just remember that it's not their fault. We're not taught this in school. We don't have a lesson for it. It's not something that we are introduced to. I mean, they talk about it little here and there, but when you are like us, you get old enough and you're like, holy cow, money is like a big important thing, you know. And I would suggest learning about it so that you can start teaching your kids younger, because I think our generation lacked that a lot, just with the times that it was. And
yeah, my understanding of how real life worked was, if you were short on payday, it was normal to go to the pawn shop, and it was normal for your dad to go sell his gun or pawn his gun. And then it was normal for him to lose it 9 months later after he already paid for it to get out because in interest, and then lose it because he missed a payment. That was commonplace for me. I didn't know 401k. My dad, he would cash out his 401k, and he would do that every 5 years. He'd cash it out and go buy something he wanted, and it worked for him, but it doesn't work for me. And
well, it works for the here and now, and a lot of people during 2020, and I know the government's allowed them to cash out or take a certain amount out of their thing, but that is, they're putting their head in the sand, and they're not going to get that, and that's not going to build an interest for the thing. So you have to make decisions today that will affect your tomorrow. And you know, financial literacy is the best thing that you can do, is educate yourself. And that's what I am, number one, is I teach you basic financial literacy by teaching you money truths, because consumerism and media lie to you. And I tell you the truth. I tell you how to have an effective bank structure. And then I have this amazing tool which helps you plan your spending. The past is the past. We quickly in the spending plan for maybe 10 seconds, we look back, but it's all about, let's just plan the future. And it's a one-time thing, and then you just have to tweak it. And so the amount of time that you've saved in managing your finances, I would say, is a lot.
It's a ton. So much.
Yeah.
I can't tell you. I've got 3 kids. We've got a big life. We have 10, there's 10 of us total now. So we've got the 5 people, we got 5 animals. And then, like I had said earlier, dance and Girl Scouts. And my life is so busy and so chaotic. And I don't have to look at anything. I know it's set up. I trust my plan. I know that we've put everything into place where it's supposed to be. And I don't have to worry about that. I just worry about my kids, and that's it. You know, it's great. I don't know. I recommend it to anybody. That what you guys do, the education, that just right there is worth all of it. Like,
so just for how far we made it, and with us starting, like, to be honest, when the pandemic first hit, we were like, well, no, we can't afford it.
Yeah,
and then Chelsey was like, no, we can't afford it.
Look at this.
Exactly. You cannot afford it. And the amount that you paid, the minimal amount really that you paid, you have gotten back so many times over.
I mean, I was telling Chelsey, you could charge double what you charging because once you're on track, you don't see that money going out.
Yeah.
And all you see is all the gains on top of it.
Yeah.
So like me, I'm stingy. I really didn't have any debt when me and her first got together. I paid cash for everything. I had no credit. I had no debt. I lived in a little dumpy trailer and mobile home.
Yeah. Portable home.
Yeah. So, you know, but I was content because everything was paid for. So all the money I had was my money, but I just blew it on everything I could. And if I would have been saving, you know, when her and I first got together, we would probably have a house that's halfway paid off.
Yeah.
And you'd probably have a couple more investments. And the way you're going now, you'll be able to, this is, you know, you are so smart to have got it, you know, this, you know, as young as you are. And I know that there's so many more younger ones, and the younger you start, and I've worked with people who are as young as 17 because they're in their last year of school and realize that they aren't going to be taught about money and that they're going to leave, and they just felt hopeless and uneducated. And so she wanted to learn a spending plan, and so exciting and so smart.
That's good.
So thank you so much, BJ and Chelsey. It's been a pleasure. And again, I can't wait to come and see that beautiful home and see your family. It's been lovely seeing your journey over the last few years. Is there any last minute things you'd like to say?
We just couldn't have done it without you, and we're just grateful.
Mm-hmm.
It's an amazing thing. So if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be where we're at. I think that's a good way to end it.
Yeah, well, thank you. And it was a pleasure. It was a pleasure to be a part of your money story that is now getting you what you really want.
We want a picture of your reward when you get it.
Yes, I'm waiting for it. It's in they say it's in the mail, so I'm waiting for that. And so, yes, I will definitely do that. And you'll see it on social media. So thank you again. Have a good night. And tell those kids thank you. They did an awesome job.
Okay, we will. Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
And we will see everyone else next Tuesday, same time. This one's been a bit longer, but it's been well worth it. So another Essential Money Talks. Bye-bye.